welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. A Barça News Round-Up coming up today because could we actually have some more money coming in this summer? Are the sales and the departures really starting to kick off? We are going to be talking about the imminent exit of Junior Firpo. We're also going to be talking about the potential exit too of Samuel Umtiti, along with the concern over our goalkeeping situation at the club right now, because ahead of the new season, who exactly is going to be our goalkeeper in that first game? It is all coming up, so let's get to it. But first of all, guys, just to quickly recap on the Euro 2020 action from Sunday, because of course our very own Frenkie de Jong and Memphis Depay suffered heartbreak at the Euros on Sunday after Czech Republic stunned the Netherlands with a 2-0 victory at the round of 16 stage, leaving Frank de Boer's side eliminated from the tournament. And I've got to say, I really do feel for Frenkie. I think he had a very, very good tournament at the heart of their midfield. He was very impressive, as was Memphis there in his attack, and the same there going into the tournament in terms of what the Netherlands did in qualification. And I think the whole of the Netherlands expected them to go further. I think they should have done based on the players they had, but it just goes to show at tournament football at international level in the knockout round, anything at all can happen. But I do want to say, from a selfish point of view, looking at this here with my full Barcelona hat on, I'm very, very happy that Frenkie de Jong is going to get some rest, some serious rest at last, because you've got to remember here, this has been such a long season for him at Barcelona. He was ever present there in Ronald Koeman's team, playing in midfield, playing in defence. He was always available for us, and of course with the Netherlands too, he's been a vital part of their team. So I think they're an extra few weeks for him. That is going to do him the world of good. We want him fresh. We want him completely rested there ahead of that new season. And of course exactly the same there for our incoming arrival, Memphis Depay, who will now have some days off, some days there of rest and recuperation. And then of course, let's not forget, we are going to see him officially presented at the Camp Nou as our new signing at the club, and we're going to see him finally in that Barca shirt for the first time. So that should be coming very, very soon indeed. Once Memphis has had a little time away, then he will be presented, and that should be really good fun. But if we move on to that serious transfer business now, in terms of those departures that we could be seeing take shape very, very soon. Yesterday, of course, we discussed there the exit of Jean-Claire Todibo. That was the first sale of the summer from Barcelona. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Junior Firpo. For some time now, we've all known that he's going to be departing this summer. He's one of the more straightforward exits, given the fact there is plenty of interest in him from Serie A. You've got AC Milan, who are very, very interested in signing Firpo. And, of course, there has also been several clubs interested in him from the Premier League. And it is England there that he appears to be heading, because multiple reports this morning circulating there, first of all, in the Spanish media and now indeed in the British press, that Leeds United are very, very close there to sealing a deal for Junior Firpo, and Barça, if that deal goes through, that could be worth 15 million euros, which would be a really welcome sum. That would certainly mark some good business once again for us. And I would also say there, I'd be really interested to see how Junior Firpo does, not only in the Premier League, but in the Premier League under Marcelo Bielsa. I think that would be an absolutely fantastic thing to watch there, how he can develop Junior Firpo. He's so good in terms of developing players and helping them there achieve their potential. So Bielsa there, taking Firpo under his wing, that is something that I would really like to see. And of course another defender this summer that the club, they're actively looking to move on, it's Samuel Umtiti. Although of course this is a task that's proven to be much more difficult. Not because, there's not interest in him, because believe me, there's plenty of clubs there in France that would love to have Samuel Umtiti. They would love to bring him in, but just like we discussed in yesterday's video, the wages, they're the problem. They are the huge stumbling block there ahead of any potential deal, because absolutely no club, no matter how highly they rate Samuel Umtiti, no club there is going to match his current 230k a week contract that he has at Barcelona. And look, they're absolutely right to refuse that, because that is crazy money. And what that means is that it's always been in the hands of Umtiti himself. It's always been up to him whether he left the club, whether the club want him to go or not. That doesn't really matter, because for Umtiti to leave, what he would have to do there is agree to lower those wages. He would have to agree to sign for a club, go elsewhere, and accept a lower salary than he currently has. And up until now, there's been no real willingness on the side of Umtiti to actually go and do that. However, today, as reported by TV3, who are often a really reliable source there when it comes to Barca news, they say for the first time, Barca feel as though Umtiti has agreed to leave the club on loan this summer, which is a very, very big development indeed, because obviously with a loan deal we wouldn't have any sort of transfer fee for Umtiti, but right now that's not the priority. What we need to do is remove those wages. We want the likes of Umtiti there off the wage bill, and that is something that a loan deal could help us do, providing of course though that the club who's receiving Umtiti pays his full salary. That is what we have to say there, and it's not something that is always guaranteed in loan deals, but it appears right now that the club in question that may be Umtiti's destination would be Marseille, after they have shown some interest in Umtiti over the past few weeks, and they would be open to maybe bringing him in this summer, which is also quite believable, I think, there, that link to Marseille, because apparently Umtiti's name actually came up there when Barca were negotiating with Marseille over the sale of another man, Konrad de la Fuente. Because in terms of those negotiations, as you can see right here, they appear to have gone very well indeed, very smoothly there with Marseille. Their president actually said that he's got a really good relationship with Barca and that he's happy with how this business has been conducted. Right here is Konrad de la Fuente arriving in Marseille to complete his signing with the French club. He's going to sign there a permanent deal, as we've discussed in the past, with Barca receiving a fee there between 3.5 to 4 million euros. Although, as we have said, Barca crucially will have a buyback clause included in that deal, and that is yet another sale there that's going to go through and more money that we're going to bring in. But finally, what we do have to discuss in today's video, guys, is our goalkeeping situation, because there's been quite a bit of talk in the Spanish media over the past few weeks about our goalkeeping situation. We've actually seen Barca being linked to a number of backup goalkeepers, and I just want to explain right now what is happening in terms of that situation, because right now, as we know, our number one goalkeeper, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, he underwent their knee surgery at the start of the summer. That was an issue that he'd had for quite a long time that he wanted to get sorted out, and we can absolutely understand that. But as a result, he's now going to miss the start of the La Liga season, and according to Sport, ter Stegen may not be back until October at the earliest, which, okay, it's not ideal. It's not something that you'd want there for ter Stegen to be on the sidelines, but for the start of the season, it's not the biggest issue in the world. However, there is still uncertainty ahead of next season when that first game happens. Who's going to be the number two? Who is going to play heading into that first game? Because right now, as we know, Neto, who is the number two, he's going to be leaving. That is absolutely guaranteed. He wants more game time. Barca also want to get a transfer fee for him, so he is going to be leaving the club. That is all but guaranteed. Which then, of course, leaves us with Iñaki Peña, who for me, it should be simple. It should be very, very simple. You sell Neto this summer, you bring in much needed funds there in terms of the transfer fee. You also remove pretty big wages that he's on, and you replace him with somebody from within for free. He comes up from Barca B, he's earning low wages, he also has quality and talent, and Iñaki Peña, for me, should be our second goalkeeper. However, according to Sport this morning, things may not be that straightforward, because they say the club are very much open to doing exactly that. They would be happy, they're the board, to promote Iñaki Peña, to see him there as the second goalkeeper at Barca, but Sports say it's Ronald Koeman who's not really happy about that. He is not convinced there that Iñaki Peña should be the number two goalkeeper, and instead, Sports say that Koeman would rather bring somebody in, sign a new backup goalkeeper with more experience. That, for me, would be a bit of a waste of money. That would be money that we simply do not have being spent on a position that's kind of, for me, very, very unnecessary. And the other problem with that is that also, according to Sport, if Iñaki Peña is not promoted this summer, if he is not there given the opportunity to be the number two at the club this summer, he wants to leave. That is what Sport are saying right now, that if Iñaki Peña is not given that chance, he will ask to leave the club, which again leaves us another goalkeeper light. And to be honest, you couldn't really blame him. If this summer he's not given that chance, if he's not given that opportunity in the midst here of a financial crisis at the club, if he's not going to get it now, he never will. So I can understand there Iñaki Peña saying, you know what, if I'm not going to get it now, I just want to go. I want to go somewhere else and play first team football. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. For me, he should be promoted. It's the cheapest option. It's also the best option in the club's current climate. I trust him to start the season there in place of ter Stegen. He's shown real quality at Barcelona B. I think he's ready to make that step up. But it seems as though, if that is to happen, the club are going to have to convince Ronald Koeman. So indeed, guys, that right there is the latest update right now from the club, and in terms of everything that we are doing over this summer transfer window. Like I say, you do get that feeling now like the departures, they're going to start happening. We need to start making these moves happen, getting in some money, reducing that wage bill, just as we discussed yesterday. It's so important to do that for the future of this club. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think there of that potential sale of Junior Firpo to Leeds United? 15 million. Is that a good fee for you? Would you have liked to see more? Is that more maybe than you expected us to get? Let me know all of that down below, along with what you would do in terms of Barca's goalkeeping situation. Would you promote Iñaki Peña? Would you be happy to see him as Ter Stegen's backup? Or would you, much like Koeman, rather sign a new backup keeper? Let me know all that stuff, guys. I'll be seeing you soon with more videos to come. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça!